welcome to Sassy Mama's Expert Chat on how to manifest your best year yet. I'm Kristen, the marketing manager at Sassy Mama, and today I'm joined with life coach Meera Ball and kids coach Andrea Liu from the family coaching practice Frolic for Life. Today we're excited to reflect on the past year, reframe our mindset for the year ahead, and get tips to achieve our best year yet. Before I turn it over to Meera and Andrea, I would like to take a moment to remind everyone to put yourselves on mute so we can clearly hear our speakers. Feel free to keep your cameras on. We love to see your faces. After the presentation, there will be an opportunity for questions. If you have any, you can submit them by privately messaging me in the Zoom chat function throughout the presentation, and I will read them out loud at the end of the presentation for Meera and Andrea to answer. All the questions will be anonymous. Thanks so much. Meera and Andrea, over to you to introduce yourself and kick us off.
Thanks, Christine, for the lovely intro, and we're so happy to be here to be chatting to you about a great topic to kickstart the year of the tiger. So, how much thinking have you done to anticipate what 2022 might bring you? I'm very excited to introduce you to our team of coaches that are here to share their insights and prompt you to look at various aspects of your life to get you started. So here's what we're going to be covering today. So the first one, let's acknowledge the impact of 2021 and celebrate our resilience as we reflect and look at the key learnings of last year. Then we're going to pick some of those major wins from 2021 and bring that momentum and mindset into 2022. It's also really important to shift our mindset with the intention to see things differently, and we'll be sharing with you some thoughts on how to do just this. Meera's going to be sharing that soon. And then our lovely coaches are going to offer some practical tips on how to get you started on the year ahead. Next slide, please. So the last few years has been challenging, and we think that we can collectively say that it's hit us all in various different ways. Most of us have experienced a huge amount of uncertainty and stress, and possibly even a tipping point on where we're questioning our next direction in life. Some of us have been impacted more than others with the loss of jobs, relocations, being torn apart from families, missing or even families and missing significant events. Like for me, both my parents turned 70 during the pandemic, and sadly my grandfather passed away and I couldn't make it to his funeral in Hong Kong. So I'm sure that there's loads of moments that we can share over the last 2 years that have made it a little bit more difficult. But as we start the first quarter of the year, we can see that there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Things seem to be improving a little bit. It could be a few steps forward and then a few steps back. But we also need to acknowledge that the world is and will be different after the pandemic. So whatever has happened in your household, we have the power to change our perspectives. And here's an opportunity for you to wipe the slate clean with new opportunities to rewrite how you choose to move forward and kind of like shed the things that no longer serve us. And by the way, thank you so much for those that have come onto this webinar today to join us, because you've already taken that step forward. So please meet Meera, our in-house life and career coach, who's going to share with you how to wipe this clean slate and manifest our best year yet.
Thank you, Andrea. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to connect with you virtually today. So I'm going to talk about reflections and learnings. In order to take on our new plans from a space of clarity, certainty, and calmness, it is extremely crucial that we give ourselves a sense of closure to the past year. Why do we need closure? Well, if we're still carrying something from last year, then it's just going to be playing at the back of our minds, and it will hinder our progress at some level. For me, 2021 was actually bumpier than 2020. I found myself struggling with, the prolonged effects of the pandemic, particularly in dealing with isolation. I noticed myself becoming more of an introvert. On one hand, I enjoyed working from home and being by myself, But then I realized when I was engaging with others, I had developed some sort of social awkwardness. So I needed the time to review and sort of figure things out. Back to my point, a review helps bring closure and prompts a fresh start. So a simple expression, talking to yourself, saying, thank you for 2021. It was tough, but I have a new outlook on things, can really shift your focus and clear negative thoughts out of your mind. Here's my question to all of you today. Have you made the time to reflect on your journey over the last 12 months? If yes, congratulations and well done on doing so. If no, well, it's not too late. We are still in the 6 weeks of 2022, and it's a good time to make that transition. I invite you to make space to acknowledge yourself, your family. You've all been through a lot. Next slide, please. So how do we complete the cycle and start afresh? Here are sort of some tools. Again, set some time aside to close off 2021. I wrote a letter to myself over Christmas and found it a very cathartic experience. You can choose to do the same or record a message on your phone. The main idea is to really just put in the time for this exercise and get it out of your system to create mind space for new things. And these days, you can use a software on your phone to create a collage of photos throughout the year. As I mentioned, voice recording. It really allows you to, stop, be, recognize, and realize your learnings. I called my letter Chapter 2021. So you could have some fun with that and choose a title that befits your journey. Again, make sure you detail your achievements and remember to thank yourself for being resilient. I want you to realize that you did your best each day, every day, whether you woke up at a 5/10 or a 9/10, you still woke up. Each one of you got dressed, fed the kids, organized play dates, homeschooled, you probably exercised, fitted in whatever worked for you, ran the house. Kudos to those of you who juggle working from home, whether you had a designated workspace or not. It's important that we celebrate our achievements and learnings because both coexisted. And whether you realize it or not, you have expended yourself under a really tough situation. So think about the few things that really shifted for you and will help shift your mindset. I'll talk about mindset later. Right, and you can also choose some key moments, find some photos, look at them. What were you experiencing? Use these images to remind you of how agile, adaptable, and committed you were to whatever you were doing. You can have a photo wall. Choose a nice family photo. You can title it "The Year We Beat the Odds." Have fun with it. Have fun to close off a difficult time so that we can move forward fresh. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what's next? You've recorded your 2021 wins and learnings. I say store it away. It's time we write Chapter 2022. So ponder upon what worked for you, and you would have already had some ideas while doing your reflection. And the main thing is, how can we keep it consistent? See, we really do not know what's ahead with life post-COVID, do we? Or rather, as we transition into living with COVID. So we have to keep going. We have to keep growing, progressing. And it's not only about consistency, but it's also about keeping the momentum into this new year. If I recall, many of my conversations with friends were about, waiting and waiting for things to get better, waiting for restrictions to be lifted, waiting for travel to resume. And there was this lack of control. So in the spirit of momentum, you can keep doing stuff for you and your family, and you don't need to think of the things that are out of your control to make you happy and help you move forward and achieve what you want to. How's that for food for thought? So make this year about keeping momentum, energy, and vibrant. If I may share my key takeaways from 2021 into 2022 are consistency, balance, going with the flow, and recognizing when to pause. Right, next slide, please. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a list of non-negotiables. Okay? For example, exercise, having more sleep, engaging with like-minded people, whatever works for you. Set some goals, chunk these goals into weeks or months, perhaps until the next school holidays. You could have a goal to run an extra kilometer every week. You could have a goal to learn a new language in 3 months. I encourage you to put together some goals that work for you, figure out your non-negotiables, and get help if you need goal setting. Most importantly, please be kind to yourself. Set goals that are sustainable, and remember that you're actually constructing a new lifestyle for yourself rather than something that's, oh, I've reached this goal next, you know. That's often the challenge when we set goals. Another fun exercise you can do around goal setting is write a note to yourself that you will open in 3 months, just to see where you're at. You could say congratulations or you're doing well. It's important to celebrate any level of achievement. Okay, so now that we've talked about cleaning the slate, we've talked about writing your non-negotiables, we've talked about working through some goals for the next few months, we need to maintain momentum. And how does this work? I spoke about mindset a little earlier. It's important that you choose things that work for you. Okay, things that work for you. You know yourself well. On the screen, I have 3 things that fill my thought process on a daily basis. They're something to remind me that I am not alone. I found 2 or 3 buddies to work with, some peer groups that I can stay connected with, and make it a fun experience. It's very important for me that I make a difference in my interactions with people. So I think about what I bring to the table. I think about adding value and really listening attentively. And all this would not be possible if I don't take care of myself. So what works for me is reading, exercise, lots of sleep again, and really pacing myself, knowing when to put others first and when to put me first so that I can move on and achieve my goals. Thank you very much, and all the best for me.
Thanks so much, Meera, for those tips. I would like to now introduce you to our coaches that have expertise in these areas of the Frolic for Life wheel. Now, in some areas you may feel totally in control, but there may be some areas that need some improvement. And that's all okay, because none of us have a perfectly balanced wheel of life. So after you go through Meera's suggestions on reflections, learnings, goal setting, you will become aware of where you need some improving and where you actually need some support in those areas that are in deficit. So you want to share some experts that coach people through these areas that are key elements in our lives. And each coach will share their top 3 tips. I encourage you to write notes, but don't worry if you don't catch it all. We will share a link afterwards after the webinar with the key points. So let's just get started with stress management. I know that we've had our fair share of it in the last couple of years. So Rebecca, please share some tips on stress.
Thank you, Andrea. Hi, everyone. My name's Rebecca Jackson. I specialise in stress management as well as fertility health. So those two go together quite well. So I spend my coaching time helping people de-stress and make the changes they need to live well and feel happy. So here are my top 3 tips to make this year great. So learn to say no. This is a great one. How do we do that? Sometimes it's so difficult just to say no. So begin by noticing how you feel in any situation. What's your physical reaction, your body's response to that? Listen to your gut feeling. Ask for more time and information. This gives you an opportunity to take a bit of time to make an informed decision. And just be really honest and direct, guys. Just give one reason and stand your ground. Try saying something simple like, I'm at capacity, thank you. Make it fun and simple. Okay, so here's my next tip. So sit down, identify your commitments. What have you got going on? Write them all down. Which ones are non-negotiable? What is most important and that you enjoy? And really think about the commitments that bring you stress, okay? And try rating them on a scale if it helps you. And you can review these over time. So my final tip for today is implement a healthy morning and nighttime routine. And to me, this is so, so important. Especially start the day peacefully. You can try something really simple, guys, like some simple stretching in bed for 10 to 15 minutes, or breathing exercises just when you wake. Maybe sitting in the sun by the window with your morning coffee. And if you have time for it, a meditation or a short yoga session. These things can really help you set the pace for your day ahead. And in the evening, of course, we all know this, avoid any devices for a few hours before bed. And yes, a few hours is actually recommended, a couple of hours if you can, and try and turn your bedroom into a place that's sacred for sleeping, where you can read a book and relax and let go. That's it from me for now. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Selena Weird and I'm the health and wellness coach. And I believe that health and wellness is the core to life. And if we can't maintain this, then we can't be fully present for ourselves and also our family. So here are my 3 simple tips I'd like to share with you to maintain your health in 2022. Tip number 1 is hydrate yourself. So did you know that around 50% of a woman's body is made of water? So it's super, super important to keep yourself hydrated, particularly here in Singapore, in this hot and humid climate. And it takes more than just water to hydrate your body. So also reach out for foods like fruits and vegetables that contain even more water. My tip number 2 is eat more food rich in fiber. And by this, I'm meaning foods like oats, quinoa, chia seeds, nuts, peas, beans, lentils. An easy way to increase your fiber intake. So if you switch any refined grain product you eat a lot to a whole grain version, for example, you like your morning toast, your white toast, you can switch to a whole wheat version. Or if you like snacking like I do, another way is to choose fruits and veggies and nuts instead of highly processed snacks. And my tip number 3 is connect and listen to your body. So don't take care of your body only by numbers. So you don't need to walk a certain number of steps if your body is begging you for a rest. So whether you know it or not, your body is constantly speaking to you. And the easiest way to get in touch with your body is to conscious breathing. So it simply involves staying conscious of your in-breath and you're out breath. Or you can also go for a daily walk and feel the sun on your skin, or start a food journal. So write down after every meal how you feel. Do you feel bloated, sluggish, or better? Do you feel energized? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ewa Hensling, and my tip around fitness, basically, number one, finding space in your day for fitness can be hard being a parent. So here are some ideas on how you can create fitness habits in the new year. One, create a realistic schedule and sticking to it. You don't have to go to the gym for hours. I used to go to the gym for hours because I'm a PT. You can create moments moments of fitness in your day and build it into your routine, like walking a little faster, take the stairs instead of the escalator, try to do some sit-ups when you wake up from bed or before you go to bed. Create manageable fitness habits to stick by. Two, choosing a fitness regime you enjoy. It shouldn't be a chore. You should enjoy it. Some people prefer to exercise as a group. Some people enjoy jogging, yoga, high intensity fitness. Try out different types of exercise and see what sticks. Like trying out a spin class, Pilates, kickboxing, there's so many choices out there. I heard from a range of my clients in the past that they enjoy to tone and look fit, even after having kids. If you need finding the right exercise for you, get in touch. I have a lot of suggestions. Third, obviously, for me, it always works as a start where you are not motivated, is to have a fitness buddy, have a buddy to hold you accountable. Having someone to kick your butt and vice versa makes all the difference. Remember that a family member can be fitness buddies too. Remember, habits don't have to be massive. You don't have to do an hour every day. You could have pockets of fitness moments in your day. Just build it in, be consistent, and turn it into a daily routine. And me again, I'm also the resident trained relationship coach. So here are some tricks on building some spark into your relationship. Intimacy through communication. Don't take your partner for granted. Leave the kids out of the picture. You can't get intimate when you have, kids running around. Don't give each other excuses. And now we all rather watch Netflix sometimes, right? You gotta be open, share, make time, make out. It's all about telling each other our needs. I myself, being married 17 years with 2 kids, I constantly remind myself and not to take my husband for granted or make it all about the kids. Make time for all the most important relationships in your life, even if it's just half an hour at the end of the day. The key is to be present with them. You can set some boundaries and rules. No screen time, listening to each other, without making any judgments. Create time without kids. For those working from home, could you steal an hour at lunch in the bedroom with the kids when the kids are, at school? 2, declarations for date nights, or be spontaneous, have some spontaneous surprises. We tend to forget about our partners when we have family and children. So sometimes we need to make time to make it happen. Sounds simple, question mark? Okay, these things to be shared, these has to be shared it has to be a shared responsibility. You can take in turns to organize a dinner, an activity, or a trip to the movies. It's about partnership. That is 30-second hug. There's so many benefits for a simple and easy hug. Some people think it's too simple, but actually it can create so much intimacy that you can imagine. Think of those amazing oxytocin, feeling of love, affection, connection, intimacy, and so much more. So next time you hug your partner, embrace, squeeze, and give it 30 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Ewa. So it's Becky again. So now about fertility health coaching. So fertility health coaching is a whole person approach to preconception care. So you will learn how to support a fertile mind and body, make healthy choices, reduce toxicity so the body can heal and nourish itself. So I support clients in the areas of nutrition, fertility yoga, mindfulness, bereavement and loss, treatment support, and much more. So here are some tips I want to share with you today, guys. So reduce environmental toxins. This is really important for healthy fertility. Environmental toxins can be really hard to avoid, but there is a lot we can do to make a difference. So you try reducing your exposure to plastics, BPA, which is found in plastics, metal drink cans, food containers. Throw away any old plastic containers and make sure you use things that are microwave safe. Eating organic, of course, that's not always easy, but try and think if it's got the skin on, maybe it's okay. But if it's got no skin, maybe it's better off going organic. That's a good rule I follow. Check your cosmetics and fragrances and find brands you trust. And if you're not sure how, just look for really nasty chemicals that you just don't know what the words mean, and try something more natural. And ensure good ventilation in your workspace or at home. Open windows, get some fresh air. So tip 2, nutrition. Eating nutritionally rich whole food diet, focus on fruit and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, seeds and nuts, of course is great, but they actually have so many benefits for your fertility. They, if they're high in antioxidants, vitamins and minerals, they can actually help balance any environmental and physical toxins in the body. And this means reducing inflammation, regulating hormones, so being regular and feeling good in your digestive system and improving overall health. So final tip, guys, exercise moderately. Excessive exercise leads to physical stress. So this means increased cortisol levels that disrupt the reproductive hormonal pathways. And this means you're going to have ovulation irregularities, okay? So moderate exercise is actually best, with more intense workout sessions, maybe just 2 or 3 times a week, if you're really keen. And if you can, just try slowing down and replacing those intense exercises with, say, walking, swimming, yoga, yeah, that's it from me today, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so now that you've gone to Rebecca for some coaching tips on fertility, you become a parent or you have some kids. So I'm a kids life coach, teen coach, and parent coach at Frolic for Life. And for me, connection is the word or the motto that I'm embracing this year for me and my family. And here are some tips to enhance connection in your household. Number 1, now we've just spent the last 10-15 minutes talking about looking back on 2021 and building goals for you this year. What about doing goal setting for you and your family? So we've done this in my family over the last few years with my teens, and it's all about looking forward to the possibilities for the year ahead. What fun things can we do as a family? Are there any home projects that we can do together? Do we want to learn something new as a family unit? This not only builds connection, but it also breeds collaboration and cooperation. And it's by far the funniest workshop that I've ever attended in my family. It's not always a breeze. We're always arguing a little bit about, what fun things or what, holiday we want to go on this year. But all that laughing and brainstorming and some friendly arguing banter actually builds connection. So number 2, individual parent time with each child. Special time with each child is really important to foster connection, strong connection. And each child has their own individual needs and wants. So spending one-on-one time with each parent is really important for them to be seen and heard. Now, I take my teen daughter out to kickboxing classes, and then we go for a smoothie afterwards. My son, I take to the driving range to hit some golf balls, and sometimes his time zone to play some video games, his choice. So here's another hack for chatting to your teens as well, or kids. Take them out on a drive. My husband takes my daughter out on a drive some evenings, and they play carpool karaoke. This is a really good time to really connect on some important matters, or you may feel it hard to kind of like for your teenagers to really open up. So when you're sitting and driving and you're both facing forward, your eyes are on the road, you can have kind of quite nice, deep and meaningful conversations. Try that one out. And my last tip is start a new family tradition. Now, this could be a regular activity that you do as a whole family once a week or once a month, like Friday night pizza or family disco nights, or it could even be device-free Sundays. So just do something nice that you can do as an activity for the whole family where you're staying connected together. And you may be able to ask yourself, what are the cool things that we did last year that the kids still talk about this year? What made it fun? Could you reinstate that as a regular activity this year? That's me. Thank you.
Hi again, I'm back. All right, so let's talk about your career and professional development. Here are some tips from me. Identify your values and your purpose. Have your values changed, evolved, and how much of your work right now actually supports your values? In 2021, again, when I was doing that letter to myself, I realized, oh, there are a few changes in the way I prefer to work right now. And so I got some help resetting some of my values. I worked with a mentor, and also to really understand what is it I want to do for my career, say for the next 5 years. Tip number 2, set a vision for yourself for this year. Now, organizations are always having retreats and, strategizing what's ahead for them. So why not do that for yourself? Again, identify 3 areas you want to expand yourself in your career. I want to take on this role by this time. And to do this, I need to upskill myself in these areas. And my goal to achieve this is in 6 months. So there I've embedded everything we talked about earlier. Setting a vision for 2022, identifying your goals, and also achieving them and getting help to achieve them. And finally, connect with a mentor or a coach. As I mentioned, I got help to do my values, which was very powerful, because it allows me to reiterate why I want to do what I want to do repeatedly. Reach out for guidance, and you need someone to keep you accountable. So identify who can support you with this vision and put together a plan. And that's all from me.
Thanks, Meera. Hi, I'm Michelle Howell, last but not least, your financial wellness coach at Frolic for Life and a qualified financial advisor. So for many people, money is a supercharged topic. Family history and feelings of self-worth can be tied up in your ability to make a living, support your family, and get ahead in your career. And in particular, during these times, there is an added layer of uncertainty and volatility due to the pandemic. So here are my tips to help you take back control during these times of uncertainty and help keep you and your family on track this year. So number 1, plan. Plan for how you spend and how you save. Make a budget and allow for planned expenses as well as the fun stuff. Set up different pots and auto-direct money to reduce your mental load. Tip number 2 is to protect. Make sure your family is financially protected if something unexpected arises. What if someone in your family develops health issues or can no longer work? Review your current insurance and have a fallback plan. My tip number 3 is to grow. Contribute regularly to an investment or retirement fund to grow your wealth and allow yourself financial freedom in the future. If we could plan for 75% of what's going to happen to you financially, wouldn't the other 25% be so much easier to handle? So for 2022, I'd like to encourage you to fight procrastination when it comes to money, create clear financial goals, and don't be afraid to seek support and guidance to achieve this. Let's take the stress and guilt out of money so that you can spend more time on you and your family.
Thanks, coaches. Big thank you to all you guys. Kristen, I know that we're running a little bit out of schedule. It's 12:08, but I just want to say thank you very much to the coaches. As you can see, we have a lot to share, but I hope that these simple tips will get you thinking about how to manifest your best year yet. Don't forget, it's all about little steps and making small changes. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't beat yourself up if you fall off the wagon. It's all about giving yourself room to breathe and always acknowledging those little wins as well. So it's also okay to reach out for help. And we are a bunch of coaches here at Frolic for Life that are available to coach in all the different aspects of the Frolic Family for Life coaching wheel. As you can see, we have a team of specialists available that is there to improve your relationships, your children, your health, your fertility, your finances, your career, and also managing stress. So in the words of good old Audrey Hepburn, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful 2022.
Great. Thank you, Meera, Andrea, and all of the Frolic for Life coaches for helping us reflect on the past year and taking the positives into this year, along with tips to help us achieve our best year yet. We've had some questions come in already, but as a reminder, if you have something you'd like to ask, please put it in the Zoom chat function and we will do our best to get to all. Does there need to be a problem with my child in order to get coaching? Is it a difference to see a child psychologist?
So coaching is all about giving tools and strategies to help them become better at self-awareness and self-esteem. So giving them the confidence. So I always say to the parents that come to me, although they do come to me and say, oh, my child has got confidence issues, or he's a little bit shy, or there's some behavioral problems that we can see. Quite often parents do come with an actual problem, but I often say to parents as well that actually prevention is better than cure. So by getting the child to me when there's no problems is actually easier to give them the tools and the help they need to actually tackle challenges and worries for when they go into teenage years and teenage years, and all those tools can be used as adults as well. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, I think you did. This is another one probably for you, Andrea. Can life coaching help kids with autism or ADHD?
Yeah, so with kids life coaching, a lot of the tools that I often teach or I support with is about building mindfulness into your lifestyle. So showing kids on how to manage their inside worlds and outside worlds, and how that they can calm themselves down and use tools to really kind of like relax and breathe and see things differently. So it's all about making sure that they are aware that actually all the stuff that's on the outside world, stuff that they see, hear, touch, and taste and feel, is stuff that is outside of their control. But what's inside of their control is their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions. And these are the things that I teach people with, with autism or some form of, behavioral stuff, that they can actually start to control and start to manage their own feelings.
That's great and super helpful to know. We've had a specific question come in about one of the tips. I forget which coach this is for, but a few hours without phone before sleeping sounds like a great tip. But that bit of time scrolling on my phone mindlessly is also the only kind of entertainment I have for the whole day that makes me happy. How do I balance it between self-reflection and being nice to myself?
Rebecca, I think this one.
That's a great one. I mean, we all definitely struggle with trying to stay away from the scrolling on our phone, don't we? It's one of those things that you know you shouldn't be doing, but yet we all seem to have it on our bedside table, don't we? I think you just have to weigh up what's going on for you at that time and if it's working for you. For me personally, if I experiment with it. The nights I try, I staying away from my phone and really relax and read, I sleep so much better. And then the times I actually get caught up scrolling and browsing and getting, really distracted with it, I actually have trouble falling asleep. So personally, the balance will depend on your personal response to being on your phone and what you need to change and how much that matters to you. For me, I really need to try and stay away from my phone because it really impacts my sleep. So it's a bit of a personal thing. I hope that helps.
Yes, I think it does. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And I have another question that's come through that is also a little bit specific. This one is, many of the tips involve writing down, recording my meals, thoughts, actions. It seems to take a lot of time. It seems difficult for someone like me, a mom of 2 kids with a full-time job and no helper. Is there an easy way to help to reflect myself without taking so much time?
Meera? Meera, would you like to take it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, you can choose to voice record. A peer coach of mine, in fact, Selena, gave me this idea when I was looking to do some visualization exercises for myself. And she said, look, there's a voice recorder app on our phone. So just voice record. I'm feeling like this today. Oh, wow, I did this today. Hey, achievement, or think of a song that you can play just to break that pattern for yourself or get you feeling up and about and shifting that energy. So whatever works for you, that's most important. Whatever works for you and something that you can do continuously. Coaches, anyone want to chip in there? No?
Okay, that's a great tip.
I was going to say, the other thing you could actually do is have someone hold you accountable. Have a buddy, have a girlfriend that would check on you like every other day, go, hey, how are you doing? Set some goals with a friend. That sometimes does help me as well. So have someone be accountable.
Actually, that's a really good point. I do, if I may share, I have someone, a girlfriend, and we check in with each other on a daily basis in the first few hours of the day. And to the point where if one of us is feeling a bit off, we're just like, hey, are you feeling something, or, and just that interaction really helps shift the energy or anchor in. And often if it's someone that knows you well, you'll have that validation in that moment or that sort of, cheerleader to get you through.
Great. That is very helpful to think about. We've had another question come in. It says, great session today. What do you all think a working mom can do to stay balanced between job and family, especially with a work from home model now during COVID, while still maintaining some me time? And I think that's something a lot of us struggle with right now.
I can take this one. I think balancing the me time is really important. Self-care is that buzzword that's been happening over the last few years, especially during the pandemic, because we're working from home, we're juggling, we're attending to things, and we don't actually feel as though we're getting outside of our home sometimes too. So I think balance, meaning carve that time out and really maybe even diarize it or put like a reminder on your phone to say, look, it's time for you to get up and out the door and go for a 5-minute walk. And it doesn't have to be hours, right? Can be just 10 minutes where you just go up, get out, get into your trainers and just go for a walk for 10 minutes. And that kind of like mindfulness walking where you actually don't bring your device with you and you just walk and just look at nature and appreciate your outside world is enough to just really give you that bit of balance. But also in the evening, just having your me time as well. And I know that with kids, once they're in bed, you just want to just, grab a glass of wine and sit in front of Netflix. But maybe even one of those nights is just grab a good book or go to bed early, or listen to some nice soothing music or a podcast.
Yeah, those are some
carving
great.
out that time. Yeah.
Yeah, those are some great tips to carve out some me time, even if you don't have a lot of time to yourself. We've had one more question I think we have time for today, and that is, I think, also for you, Andrea. How young can I start my children with life coaching? Is there an age that's kind of most appropriate?
So my kids' life coaching program is aimed for kids between the ages of 8 and 12. And I think this age is the golden year, is what I call it, where they are starting to really communicate. They understand concepts, and my activities that I actually share with the kids are aimed at that age for kids' life. And then my teen life coaching program is for the late, like 14, 15, 16. Those are slightly different in how I deliver, obviously. But with the kids life coaching, yes, I think 8 is definitely a good age to start. Anything younger than that, they may not want to sit still for very long, or it may go through one ear and out the other. But I like them to practice the skills that I teach as well. So it's about making sure that they're aware that actually I have a little bit of homework. It's not a chore, but I have to practice in order to really get the stuff sunk in. So yeah, I think that's the age that I like to coach.
That's a great reference point. Thanks so much. That is all the time we have for questions today. I will include the answers to any questions we didn't get to today in the follow-up email. Thank you so much, Meera, Andrea, and all of the Frolic for Life coaches, and to all of you today for showing up and joining our Sassy Mama Expert Chat. We hope that you've all learned some helpful tips to make this year your best year yet. Look out for a follow-up email with a link to rewatch today's presentation, as well as the opportunity to provide feedback on today's event. Thanks so much and have a great Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.